Yedid nefesh avarachaman, Yedid nefesh avarachaman, Meshach avdecha, Eretz onecha,
Page 126.
La 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 la, Eretz onecha, Yarutz avdecha, Kemo ayah, Yishtachaveh Yalai El mul hadarecha, Yedid nefesh avarachaman, Yedid nefesh avarachaman, Meshach avdecha, Eretz onecha, Meshach avdecha, Yalai Eretz onecha.
On page 127. Page 127. Let us offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. Page 134. Zamru Ladonai.
Zamru Ladonai Bechino v'kol zimra, b'chatzrot v'kol shofar, hariu lifnei hamelech Adonai, Yiram hayam umlo'o, tevel v'yoshveva, Neharot yimcharu chav yachad, harim yeranenu, lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz, yishpot tevel betzedek, ve'anim b'mesharim. Yiram hayam umlo'o, tevel v'yoshveva, neharot yimcharu chav yachad, harim yeranenu.
So friends, let us turn to Lechadodi. Lechadodi is one of those amazing melodies where there are so many different tunes, there are so many different melodies. Does anybody have a favorite? What are the different... No, don't worry, I'm not going to put you on the spot.
They can have a favorite as long as they sing it also.
Yeah, as long as they sing the one you've rehearsed and you've practiced. There's Lela Chadodi Likrat Kala. You don't like that one. Why not? The traditional one, right? That's like the traditional one. Now, the Jewish one. You like the and then that one goes to Hallelujah. You like that one? You guys like that one? Because, do you guys have a special one? Glasses, do you have a special one? You're just happy to.
So am I.
You're happy that you can kind of like figure out the version and sing along, right? And to be honest, that's my secret too. Oh, you're asking me to remember a week ago? So much happens in my week. Oh, you just want the short version? Oh, I have to look it up. I can look it up, but I'm not going to look it up right now. After services, I can look it up. Oh, do you remember the one version we sang last week? Sarah, do you remember? L'chadodi. I'm putting you on the spot. Do you remember? You were here. The super short one. But each of these versions, like there isn't just one. It's like Oseh Shalom, isn't it? Or Adon Olam. There's not just one version. And everybody thinks that their version is the best version. This one that we're going to do can you hum like a bar?
I don't know, because the tune has gone out of my head.
I've messed you up. I've totally messed you up.
I think Philip should sing.
It's the Sephardi. I turned the computer away from me, so I know that Gina, I know that you're behind the scenes because you started the live streaming, not me. And you're supposed to be having a Shabbat off. You and Neil are supposed to be having a Shabbat off, and you still couldn't control yourself and start the live stream, and you're there going, oh, Kim. But how about we just do the traditional version?
I can't think of any L'chadodi
yes,
melodies.
Yes, you can. I'll
no,
get
I
you
can't.
started.
Okay, just start me.
L'chadodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Page 138. 138. Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Thank you.
I've got your back.
L'chadodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shahamor v'zakor v'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem tiferet v'tihilila. L'chadodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Hi mikor habracha, Merosh mikedem nesucha, Sof ma'aseh b'mashvrati la. L'chadodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, Ki va'orech kumi uri, uri shir daberi, Kavod Adonai alayich nigla. L'chadodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Bo'ui v'shalom terepala, Gam b'simcha u'bsola, Tochemune am segula. Bo'ui chala, L'chadodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
As we have welcomed Shabbat with singing of the Chadodi, let's take a moment and turn to those around us and wish one another a Shabbat Shalom. Margaret, I would like to invite you to come on up to do our Shabbat candles and also our candle of hope. I've decided not to call it a candle of memory, but a candle of hope.
All those little children out the front on the table, so sad.
Well, that's the Bebas family. That is the Bebas family who we hope will come back to Eretz Israel. We hope will come back to Israel, and let's focus on hope.
Let's hope for them.
Let's rise for also our Shabbat candles. Amen.
Amen.
And Margaret, we want to recognize that this Shabbat you are remembering your grandson, Alex.
Yes.
Alexander. Would you like to say something now or at Kaddish or not at all?
Not, thank you.
He's in your hearts and we support you. I'd also like to recognize that we are on the land of the Noongar people, the Noongar nation, and pay our respects to elders past and present. We turn to page 142 as we are seated for Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem.
Page 142.
Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Bochem l'shalom, Malchei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni l'shalom, Malchei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Betchem l'shalom, Malchei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Let's rise for the Chatzi Kaddish on page 144.
Yitgedal v'yitgedal Shnei Rabbav.
Amen.
Mighty Praduter and in Malchutei, V'chaye Chol Yom Echon, Uchaye Jacob Yet
On page 149, we join together for the blessing for this evening. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachvenu, uvkumeinu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'mishvotecha le'olam va'ed. Yehem chayenu, bo'erech yameinu, uvahem negem yomam v'layla, negem yomam v'layla, ve'avkavka al tasir, mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod, Malchuto, Leolam, Leolam Ba'ed.
We may be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha v'chol nefshecha v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzalecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha v'vlechtecha b'derech v'v'shokbecha v'kumecha ושרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered at Sinai. We bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Mihi chamocha alim Adonai, mihi chamocha neda b'kodesh, nora tehilot o sefele, nora tehilot o sefele, malachut kara'u banecha. Thanks.
Bokayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam, Ze'eli hanu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. V'nemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo mi'ad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. So on page 160 is Hashkivenu. So Hashkivenu, before Judith gets into singing Hashkivenu, when I dropped off my daughter this morning at Ruth Landau, there's this beautifully natured security guard there. And I see him, he's always dressed in black, no matter what the weather. And I was saying to him, I said, so how do you like this weather? And he said, it's hot. And of course he's out there in the 42-degree heat, and he always laughs at me. He knows me when I come in, not because I'm a rabbi, but because I drive in with my dog, and the minute we pull into the parking lot, my dog starts barking. And so he thinks this is the funniest thing. And I said to him, so how do you like this heat? And he just kept saying, it's so hot. I said, so what weather do you like? He says, I absolutely love winter when it's cold, because you can snuggle up in bed with a warm blanket, and you can just feel wrapped in this warmth. You know that feeling, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, but you've got to imagine the heat like that. Just imagine that the minute you step out of the air conditioning, you are being wrapped in this warm blanket. And it just is just enveloping you with love and warmth and comfort. It's this beautiful comforter. And that's what Hashkivenu is. Hashkivenu is your comforter prayer. It envelops you with love and protection and warmth and companionship. Whether your day is going well or you're struggling, this is the prayer you pick up. He didn't buy it, by the way. But this is that prayer, because this is the one that spreads God's shelter around us and embraces us. This is that prayer of comfort and of love. This is it. It may not cool you down, may not heat you up, but you'll never know until you try it on.
I'll do my best. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ushmo tzetzenu uvoenu lechaim u'leshalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim.
Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. God, our going and coming, to life and to peace evermore. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Eternal One, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. V'shamru on page 162.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat l'doretam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat l'doretam berit olam. Beini uben b'nei Yisrael oti leolam. Did I miss out a bit? Israel et HaShabbat.
Come on, everybody.
La'asot et HaShabbat l'doretam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat l'doretam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz.
Boom, boom, boom.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat l'doretam berit olam.
Shamru b'nei Yisrael
et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat l'doretam berit olam. Vayom hashvivi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash.
1, 2, 3, 4.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat. La'asot et HaShabbat l'dorotam berit olam.
You go through and you do Vishamru one more time, but I've just put you off. That was my fault.
I'm only doing this so that Rabbi knows she's a great singer. And she'll do it.
Oh my gosh. No, I totally put you off.
No, you did not. It's all my own failings.
No, come on. Let us rise for the Amidah on page 164. Page 164.
Do we turn around for this? Adonai sefatati tahu biyagi tehilatecha. Adonai sefatati tahu biyagi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanara Elyon Omer Chasadim Tovim Bekonei Hakol Bezocher Chasdei Avot Limot Umevii Kulan Livnei Bneihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen Baruch atah Adonai V'Avraham V'Tzadtzah Atah Gimor Le'olam Adonai V'chayecha kol Atah Radoshia Mashik HaRuach u'Movit HaGeshem Matzbiach HaShemesh u'Movit HaTor V'chayeh Chayim B'Chesed V'chayeh Ha'or B'Rachamim Rabim Somer Rovim V'Rofeh Ulim U'Matir Asubim U'Kayen Emunato Lishalei Achar Mikamocha Ba'gerurot U'Midomeo Melech Mevit U'Kayen U'Matzliach Yeshua V'Ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai V'chayei hakol.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. We take the next few moments, beginning on page 172 to page 180, for reading the pages on the right or the left-hand side of the page, or a combination, or the prayers of our hearts. Perhaps this is just some quiet time for us in the craziness and the busyness of the week that maybe we haven't had. Meditation, prayers of the hearts, quiet time, self-reflection, and then we'll come together with the singing of Oseh Shalom. When we are finished, perhaps we might have a seat.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
ועל כל יושבי תבל, and may God bring peace to all nations, especially the Jewish nation at this moment, Eretz Israel, and let us say, Amen. So I've had about 3 drashot, two drashot especially, but possibly even 3 drashot ruminating for me for the Shabbat. And it's been a hectic, although fulfilling week I've had. And I've connected with people within the wider Jewish community on different levels, from the Council of Christians and Jews to the Jewish Community Council of WA to Chevra Kadisha to the Union for Progressive Judaism to the UIA Progressive Trust. You name the acronym, I've connected with them this week much, and I have to say it's for Temple David's benefit. And it's been wonderful. Regardless of what's been going on, in spite of, and for the benefit of what's happening in Israel. If a confluence of events happen, I want to make sure it happens for Israel at the moment, because I feel like I am single-minded in some ways. And this week's Parashat Tetzaveh from Exodus chapter 27 seems to speak for us about the priestly clothing and building of the tabernacle, and even seems to begin to talk about, although it doesn't actually get there, the Birkat HaKohanim. It starts to allude to the priestly blessing. And the whole saying, forgive the gendered notion of this phrase, clothing maketh the man. And do you know there's one advertising slogan that I've never been able to get out of my mind, and probably hasn't been on TV or on the radio in maybe 20 years. And now it's just gone out of my head. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. It will come back to me by the end of the service today. But it also talks about the priestly garments in this week's parasha. It talks about the tunic, that you've got to put bells at the bottom. It talks about that you have to wear pants and a special top. And as I was listening to it, it sounds almost like the burial shrouds. Thankfully, that's not what I want to talk about tonight. But it also talks about what we call the Ner Tamid. the everlasting light. And at times, I don't know about you, it feels like there's a lot of darkness in the world. Do you ever feel at moments there's darkness in the world? There's a lot of, when it comes to Israel, when it comes to the Jewish people, that everybody, and I am taking a very dark view of things, doesn't feel safe at times. And I'm not talking about our physical safety necessarily. And I think to myself, so here we've got talking about the lighting of the menorah, the 7th branch candelabra that brings light. And this is what I love about this congregation, is I stand on the bema and I get to look at it all the time. We've got the boards at the back and the menorah. We've got them in the stained glass windows behind me. And it says, "You shall command the Israelites to bring your pure olive beaten for the light, to cause a lamp to burn ner tamid, continually." And if you can't actually have that in your hand, how do you cause a light to burn continually? How do you bring light into your world continually when sometimes all you see is darkness around you? How do we do that? And so I ask the question of you, how do we bring light? I'll tell you what I did the other night. When I was feeling, now this was a fortunate thing for me because I was able to do it. If I wanted to do it tonight, it wouldn't be possible because Noah's having a sleepover at my parents'. I went and I got my child and I brought her into my bed because I hadn't seen Noah in 2 days. I brought light into my life for that moment. I bring light I hope I bring light into the congregation. And I don't mean because I've lit a candle. How do we bring light? We brought light into the congregation last Friday night when we had children running up and down the bema. There's light here tonight with children. There's light in the congregation because you are here. But how do we bring light, not just into the congregation, but into our personal lives if we feel darkness? Do we reach out to friends? Do we reach out to family? Do we reach out even when it feels hard to do, when we feel just darkness around us? Do we listen to something funny on the radio? Or watch it on TV? Do we watch it on YouTube? Because we need to find that balance in our lives, as hard as what it might be. So what do we do? Because we are a people of bringing light. Look at all the symbols of light, of hope we have around us just in this sanctuary. Not of loss. We don't have symbols of loss around us, do we? Even if we feel it internally inside us. What are the symbols we have around us? We acknowledge because it's important. But we have these incredible symbols to remind us of hope, of love, of life. of splendor, of beauty, and the priest's clothing was just that, of splendor and beauty. And that's why last week for me, and continually, it's so important for me to have chaos, if you want to call it that, in the sanctuary of children. Light on the parochet, on the curtains. We have candles, the symbols, and all around us. So what are the symbols of light and love? What are your symbols of the Ner Tamid, the everlasting light, that flicker that keeps us going? And yes, for some of us it can be painfully hard at times. Painfully hard, I acknowledge that. It's not easy, especially if we've suffered profound loss in our lives. I put that out there, but just remember that when we're in those moments that we have the Ner Tamid, the eternal light. And so I want you to right now look at the Ner Tamid, take a mental photo. If you need to after services, you can take an actual photo, reflect on it, and know that we are a people of tikva, of hope, of light. Shabbat Shalom. Let us turn to page 586, to Aleinu. And this is my special symbol. Come on up.
עלינו לשבת לדוד הכל, לתת יוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים יסוד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו עינות, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויסוד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו עינות, אין אלוהינו ופסולתו, הכתוב בתורתו, ידע
So we turn to the Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. And we think of Max Katz as part of the Shiva, and Michael Halls, brother of Brenda Austin, who will be laid to rest this coming Tuesday, 10 o'clock at Simplicity Funeral Home in Osborne Park. Hopefully you saw the details in today's Machadash, or yesterday's Machadash. For the Shloshim, we remember David Kessely, brother of Hillary Winton, as well as Emmanuel Tynus and Rachel Krasenstein and Ruth Foreman. The Yahrzeits, we remember David Königsberg, father of Patricia Königsberg, Mauro Samuels, husband of Joyce, Eve Daniels, sister of Vivian, Pauline Mendelssohn, grandmother of Joel, Alexander Glenister, grandson of Margaret, Heinrich Timmerman, grandfather of Vibke, Dora Stern, grandmother of Marilyn Selden, Raya Horvitz, grandmother of Nadine Perlin, Anne Greenfield, grandmother of Hilary Garnelis, and Sarah Cass, aunt of Clive Cass. As we turn to Kadisha Tom on page 598, we share the word Zecher Tzadik Livracha. May the memory of the righteous be for a blessing. Would anyone like to remember a loved one for Shiva, for Shloshim, or for Yahrtzeit? We also share our hearts and our minds with all those who have lost loved ones through war, through terror, and through any of the natural disasters that have befallen loved ones or anyone around the world at this time. Let us join together to support one another. Yikadal v'yikadash shmei Rabbah, v'yamad yivrach yiratei v'yamlech malchutei, v'chayachon u'vyom echon, v'v'chayed achol Beit Yisrael, v'gala v'zman kariv v'meru.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach l'olam l'amei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. Yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei l'kudusha barechu. Le'olam min kol berchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. Damiran v'alma v'meru.
Amen.
Yehei shlam araba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'emru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'emru. Amen. Clive, did you want to say anything about your Aunt Sarah? Hamakom yenachem echem b'toch sha'ah havlei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved in Zion and Jerusalem and around the world, and let us say Amen. Just before our final song, just a couple of announcements. Tomorrow we may be seated, sure. Tomorrow we have TDRS at 9 o'clock, followed by our morning service at 10:30 and Coffee Club at 12:30. Anybody play Mahjong? Nope. Of course, I mentioned the memorial service, and then there's Yiddish Club on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. And on Wednesday is a busy day with Shmooze Club at 12. This is Wednesday the 28th. Israeli dancing in the afternoon at 5:15. Margaret, kick up your heels. It's not hard Israeli dancing, is it? Nah, just a little. Sorry? It definitely brings light. Definitely brings light. And in ITJ at 6:30, Hebrew at 7:30, and history at 7:40. We're going to learn in history about how the Judeans became Jews and go from the Bar Kokhba rebellion. That's what we're going to be learning. Friday, we have Dove and Dine and Dance. Dove and Dine and Dance, which is always fun, so please bring a vegetarian dish to share. March 7th, this was a date change, so I know some people now can make it, but other people couldn't make it. We've got the UIA Gala event, which has changed, no longer a big dinner, sit-down dinner, but also it meant a reduction in price. It's now $18 instead of when it's the gala dinners, it was like $80. So this makes it more accessible for a lot of people. We have Major General retired Doron Almog and Michal Uziyahu. So they represent the essence of Israel and bring stories of inspiration, pain, heroism, and resilience. But really, what I would love for everybody to come to, there's no cost, it's free, it's here in the sanctuary, is on March 17 at 4:30. We've got Yael Vergen and Linda Ben Moshe. Rabbi Yael Vergen is a rabbi for the Gaza envelope. She's been there for 5 years, and she saw it all and continues to be a rabbi for many families in that area. She's coming out here just to share stories and experiences. She knows many of the families that have been deeply affected and by what's been going on. Linda is on the UPJ board, deals with loss and resilience and of course trauma as well. This is not a conversation. People have been calling up and saying, we want to sign up for the trauma talk. This is not a trauma talk. So it's not a talk on trauma. This is coming to hear hope. It's trauma, hope, and resilience. I renamed it because people were saying I want to call it comes to the trauma. It's yes, of course there's trauma embedded, but it's also resilience and it's hope. So please sign up, come along to that. Then look out for Purim, and of course the sign-ups for Pesach are coming. There's a chocolate Seder. If you want to come along, come to the chocolate Seder, please. So that bookings all become opportunities to book for that. It's free, come along. Come and join us. I think that's enough, right? That's enough. Don't know why I look at Jeffrey when I say, is that enough? Or look in that direction. Our final song, Judith.
Ma yafe hayom.
Page 634.
Shabbat shalom. Ma yafe hayom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Please join us for Kiddush in the lobby. Well done, Judith. Thank you so much for joining us, and see you tomorrow.
Well, you might want to give me the sack. Think about it overnight.
You might give me the sack.
No. Apart from, excuse just a minute, Jeff.